All right, so we're in section 1.6. And we're going to do constructions.
Are we doing all the notes on this page?
Yes. So everything that we do will go on the sheet that I give you.
All right, so we don't need to.
You don't need another sheet of paper. Everything will go on here. All right. So the first one is they call, one way you'll hear it is construct a congruent segment. The other way that we'll talk about it is copy a segment. They both mean the same thing. And all of these constructions, we're doing these constructions with our compass. We're not using a ruler to measure to make sure things are equal. That's what we're using our compass for, to make sure our compass helps us make sure things are equal. So if we're going to copy a segment, copying a segment is really easy. What do we know about congruent segments? What's the same between congruent segments? Two segments are congruent. What's the same? The length. So all we need to do is make a segment. Just make sure our segment is the same length. So to construct a congruent segment or to copy a segment, I'm going to draw a point. That's going to be the end point of my new segment. I grab my compass. I put it on the segment I want to copy. Put the point on one end. And I'm going to start my point on the other end, just because it'll be a little easier. All right, so I put my point on one end of the segment. I open up my compass, so it's the same length as the segment. Move it down so the point is on the end point of my other segment. Make a little mark. Move the compass away, and then with a straight edge, you're going to connect the point that you have to the little mark that you made. That little mark, make sure that this length is the same as that length. Right, so and then you're going to start by drawing a little point that's going to be the end point of your new segment. So you set it there, open it up, bring your compass down here to the end point of your new segment, make a little arc, and then with your straight edge connect the point that you drew to the arc that you made. Yes?
How far you have to move it down?
No. So you move it down until the point is on the new, you draw a point. You have to draw a point that's going to be the end point, one end point of your segment. So let's do that one again. So here's my segment. I want to copy that segment. So I'm going to draw a point that's going to be the end point of my new segment. Grab my compass, set it on the segment I want to copy, open up the compass so it's exactly as big as the segment. Move it down to that point that I drew. Draw an arc. And then using my straight edge, I'm just going to connect the point to anywhere on that arc. And that's my new segment. And the length of this will be the same as the length of that because we kept the compass open the same amount. So that's our first one, copy a segment or construct a congruent segment. And if you follow the steps that are listed on that sheet there, that will walk you through the same construction. All right, questions there? All right. Next one we're going to do is copy an angle. And the other way you'll hear this is construct a congruent angle. So here's the angle that I want to copy. I want to construct an angle that's congruent to this one. So the first thing that I want to do is draw a ray that's going to be the side of my new angle. So here's the side of my new angle. It can be anywhere, doesn't matter how long it is. Just needs, that's going to be the side, one side of my new angle. Now I'm going to take my compass and set it on the vertex of the angle I want to copy, and make an arc through both sides. Doesn't matter how big it is, it just needs to go through both sides. We'll set our point on the vertex there and make an arc through both sides of this angle. Now I'm going to take my compass, I'm not going to change the setting, and I'm going to set the point on the vertex of my new angle. And make an arc. Through that, and make the arc nice and big. Now I'm going to take my compass over here, and I'm going to set the point right here where the arc crosses the angle. And I'm going to measure, open my compass up exactly how far the angle opens across that arc. So set the point on one side and the pencil part on the other side of the arc. And then move the compass, don't change the setting. Move the compass over to the angle where, and put the point on the, where the arc goes through the ray that you drew. And draw your little arc. And then with your straight edge, connect the vertex to that little X that you made. And these two angles will be congruent. So when on a quiz or a test, if I asked you to do this construction, what I'd be looking for is that you made this arc on the angle that you had to copy, and that your construction marks were made to construct your congruent angle. So that's what I'd be looking for that. So let's do that. Let's do that. Do that one again so everybody can follow along again. So here's the angle that I want to copy. First thing I'm going to do is draw a ray that's going to be the side of my new angle. So there's my ray. That's going to be my new vertex. Grab my compass, set the point on the vertex, and then I just want to make an arc, any arc, through both sides of this angle. Like so. And then I'm going to take the compass, don't change the setting, set the point on the vertex of my new angle, and make a nice big arc there. Now we're going to take the compass back to our original angle, set the point where the arc crosses the ray. Now I'll change my color this time to red. And I want to measure with the compass across the angle from where the arc crosses it on one side to the arc crosses it on the other side. And then I'm going to move the compass, set the point on where the arc crosses the ray on this angle, and draw a nice arc. And then with your straight edge, through the vertex to where that little X is made, we draw our new angle. and this angle would be congruent. And that's what making the arc and opening up our compass exactly as far open as this angle is. Make sure this angle is exactly the same amount open, same degrees.
Or replace it for the second, or the second.
You put the compass, the point right where this arc, the first arc that you drew, crosses the ray. And then just make sure you make an X through that other arc. Yep, just like that. And you connect your vertex to that little X that you made. All right, questions on that one? So we have a copy segment, copy angle. If you follow the steps on the sheet that I gave you, it will walk you through the same steps that I just talked about. All right, next one. We're going to construct a perpendicular bisector. Construct a perpendicular bisector. The other way that you'll use this one is we're just going to say bisect a segment. All right, so here's the segment that I want to bisect. So what does bisect mean? Cut in half. We want to cut this in half. All right, so this one, I'm going to take my compass. Set the point on one end of the segment. We need to open up the compass more than halfway across the segment. So that's far enough. This isn't far enough. All right, guys, let's stop talking, please. So open up more than halfway across the segment. Make an arc, a nice big arc that goes all the way above and all the way below. So almost a half circle. Some people just make the little X above and the below. I like to make just make the half circle. It's a little easier. We're going to move the point to the other end of the segment and make the exact same arc. So it goes above and below. Where those two cross, we use our straight edge and connect those. And there is the midpoint of our segment. And perpendicular means it makes a 90-degree angle also. So this is a bisector, and we also make a 90-degree angle. All right, so let's look at that one again. I'm going to bisect that segment or construct a perpendicular bisector. So set the points of my compass on one end. Make sure it's open more than halfway across the segment. Just make an arc that goes above and below. Keep this compass the same. Move the point to the other end. Make a nice arc all the way through that other one. And connect the two X's using your straight edge. And there is my perpendicular bisector. All right, questions on that one? Okay, the last one we're going to do today is bisect an angle. Or you'll also hear this one called the angle bisector. So we have this angle that we want to bisect. We want to cut it in half. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my compass and set the point on the vertex. And just like the other time that we dealt with an angle, we're going to make an arc through both sides. Any arc, doesn't matter. So I can make any arc through both sides. Then I'm going to take my compass and change the color here. I'm going to, now I have to put my point where the arc crosses the ray, just like before. And this time I need to open my compass more than halfway across the angle. Someone in the last class suggested, well, can we just open it all the way across? And that would be fine. So if you want to just think, open it all the way across, that's fine. And we're going to make an arc. And then we're going to move the compass without changing its setting to where the ray and the first arc that we drew across. Make another arc. Sometimes it just makes a circle automatically. And I'm just going to connect the vertex to that little X that I made. And I've bisected my angle. So now move your point to where the arc crosses the ray on the other side. Yes? No. I just show it so it's easier to see what each different mark is. Now you pick the point up and put it on the arc on the other side. And make your mark through the center of that angle again. Alright, so let's look at that one again. We want to bisect this angle. Alright guys. Set your compass on the vertex. We're going to make any arc through the angle. Doesn't matter. Set my compass where the arc crosses the angle and make sure it's open more than halfway across, so all the way across is fine. Do that in blue. Make an arc. Move the point to the other side of the angle where the arc crosses. Make another arc. And then with my straight edge, I'm going to connect the vertex to the little X. And there's my angle bisector. Yes? The copy angle?
Yeah.
Copy the angle? Okay. So let's do one more copy the angle. So here's my angle that I want to copy. So my first step is draw a ray. It's going to be one side of your new angle. So there's one side of my new angle. I set my compass on the vertex of the angle I want to copy and make any arc through that angle. And then I set my compass on my new vertex and make the same arc there. So the two angle constructions start out the same way. Then I'm going to move the compass back and set the point where the arc crosses my angle. And I'll do this one in red. And then I'm going to measure exactly all the way across the angle. So from point to point goes from where the arc crosses the angle to the other side where the arc crosses the angle. And then I move the compass over to the other arc where it crosses the ray that I drew and make a little mark. And then connect the vertex to the little X thing. And there's my new. Yes. So that line comes from, what I did here was I set my compass more than halfway across the arc. So for this one I just went all the way across because that's more. And then I drew that arc. Move the points to the other side where the red arc goes through the angle. And then I drew that arc. And where those two cross is where I connect between my vertex and that little X. All right, so I will post this video up. If you watch the video, you will see the compass. So I'm going to write watch. Watch the video to see the compass. You can also, if you go, there's a website called Math OpenRef for reference.com, and they have constructions that are similar to what I did on the board with the little animated compass that show these constructions as well. Same kind of thing. So you can look at that website to see instructions on how to do the constructions, and I also gave you the step-by-step instructions on the note sheet. So on the quiz tomorrow, there'll be a couple of these constructions, and it will say something like, construct a perpendicular bisector. Bisect this angle using construction. And you'll have to be able to do the constructions. Yes?
Just do it that way, or can you like measure the angle, measure the size of your drawing?
So you cannot, so when we're saying construct, listen up, that's an important question. When we're saying construct, you can't just measure the angle with your protractor and make a little mark. Construct means you have to use your compass. So we're using our compass as our measuring tool, not a ruler as our measuring tool. All right, homework.